Royalty-based businesses, I particularly love that because you don't need a lot of capital, but you get a lot of cash flow. So I've admired what he's done from the business perspective. I bet you, if it's true that this election is going to be decided by independent voters, if I polled 10,000 independent voters right now, let's say I could just wave a magic wand and do that on a panel, I bet you after all of these 6 weeks or whatever it's been, even if you watch the synopsis every night on the news somewhere, whatever outlet you watch, you are still 99% totally confused on what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if you spent full all day listening to this, which some people did, you're still confused. And so I just wonder in that group of jurors if a few of them are just looking at each other saying, I don't know. This is a mess. I don't even understand what the judge is telling me to do. That's why I'm asking you to read it over to me again, because they can't take it printed in and read.
What a complete sham. The jury is confused. What a complete sham. Boy. Nobody knows what the crime is. Nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah, I was ready, they didn't have my back. They were petty, I stayed in my bed. On that petty, I brought it right back.
All right, my beautiful patriots, brothers and sisters, beautiful people around the world. I hope everybody is blessed, well, healthy, and that nothing but the best is going on in all you beautiful people's life, man. Y'all know what the crime is? Anybody know? Anybody come up with something today? Come on, where my beautiful patriots at? Did somebody come up with the crime today? Did you figure it out? Comment down below. Rick, I know what the crime is. We waiting. We are waiting. Comment down below. Oh boy, I've been laughing all morning, boy. This is gonna be good, man. Make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And y'all know we're gonna continue to bring updates. We're gonna continue to call it out. Make sure everybody can see it. We're gonna continue to show you what they don't want to show you. And we're gonna keep calling it for what it is. And hey, I'm riding that truck with the check engine light on, Patriots. I bet you it crank up and we on the interstate. I told y'all at 70 miles per hour, that truck started shaking. That truck started shaking like that. You know, you thought no power steering fluid, you know. You know, we just put some new spark plugs in there. You know, we just rotated the tires. It got new tires and we just rotated the tires, but that truck's still shaking. All the way to November, baby. We ride. Hope y'all ready, man. I'm ready to crack open a cold with my beautiful Patriots in November, man. And I'm ready for all this to be over with, for real. I know a lot of y'all like, man, we don't care which way it go. We don't care if he convicted a felon or not. It's 2024. Oh, boy. Let's go and jump straight in, man. Oh, boy.
Right, so there is Donald Trump calling this a witch hunt and a weaponization.
Mother Teresa couldn't even beat these charges. I love me some of Trump, man, boy.
Of the judicial system.
Prayers for Trump, man.
He apparently, Dana, was very upset about the fact that certain witnesses weren't called. He said they're vicious people, and what they've done to that person is outrageous. He's talking about Weisselberg, Alan Weisselberg, former CFO, who was under the prosecution's control, who had material evidence, who would have said that Trump never talked to him about the vouchers, the invoice, or the drafting of the check.
It's one of the big questions, right, is where's Weisselberg? And if you are...
Greg got his legs crossed. Shout out to our brother Greg, man. A lot of y'all still watch The Five because of Greg. Yeah, we know a lot of y'all stopped watching when Jessica started running that yapper tapper.
on the jury, you would sit there and think, why didn't we hear from them? But correct me if I'm wrong, the judge asked both the prosecution and the defense, do you want to have Weisselberg? And they both said no. So maybe Trump's lawyers had a reason for saying that.
Well, the defense has no obligation to call anyone. The burden of proof is on the prosecution.
Okay.
But what should have happened?
They had the opportunity to bring him, and they didn't.
Well, but they don't have to. The burden of proof is on the people. I'm just saying. But there should have been an adverse witness charge.
Sure.
That, folks, this guy was in the control of the prosecution at Rikers Island, and you can assume that had the prosecution called him, he would have said something not beneficial to the prosecution.
Yeah, and that's why they didn't call him, and that's why they didn't call Keith Schiller, the security guy who apparently took the phone call from Cohen, and that was the big phone call that Cohen said, this is what I told Schiller, that I handled it for Donald Trump, and Schiller could have just come on and said, no, we talked about the 14-year-old kid that was prank calling you, and you wanted me to call the Secret Service about it. This whole case is a joke. We have another overwhelming piece of evidence that Donald Trump was doing this not for politics, but because of his business. If you think about it, and you know better than anybody, Kevin, if you're running a media conglomerate, you're running a hotel chain, and you're running these companies all over the world in Muslim countries in Europe and Asia, anything that's bad news for you personally is bad for the brand. And you're a billionaire, and you have this coming out in the middle of nowhere. Forget about protecting your family. That's the obvious concern. Secondary concern is the business. You can't have some porn star extorting you. 130 grand is nothing for Donald Trump. You pay that, it's nuisance, make it go away. That's common sense.
Well, Trump brand is very important, you know, even prior to him being president. And obviously, all of these Trump brands all around the world on real estate are royalty-based businesses. I particularly love that because you don't need a lot of capital, but you get a lot of cash flow. So I've admired what he's done from the business perspective. I bet you, if it's true that this election is going to be decided by independent voters, if I polled 10,000 independent voters right now, let's say I could just wave a magic wand and do that on a panel, I bet you after all of these 6 weeks or wherever it's been, even if you watch the synopsis every night on the news somewhere, whatever outlet you watch, you are still 99% totally confused on what the hell is going on.
Yeah.
And, you know, even if you spend full all day listening to this, which some people did, you're still confused. And so I just wonder in that group of jurors if a few of them are just looking at each other saying, I don't know.
I don't know.
This is a mess. I don't even understand what the judge is telling me to do. That's why I'm asking you to read it over to me again, because they can't take it printed in and read it. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I just look at it and say to myself, wow, this is bad for the American brand. That's what I keep going at. It really is. It's just, even if he gets acquitted, it's bad for the American brand. And I don't think people at this table think that's going to happen. It's more leaning towards maybe a hung jury. And you say, Judge, if that happens, they'll bring it back a week later? That sounds crazy to me.
There's no question. But, Greg, one of the notes that came out today was they wanted the testimony regarding the Pecker meeting at Trump Tower, along with Cohen meeting at Trump Tower. It was at that meeting, and I have this in my notes, that Trump apparently never mentioned his family like he did with Hope Hicks. That, and I may be reading it wrong, but I'm not real comfortable with that.
I don't know. It's the first time I'm hearing of it. It always goes back to Pecker. No one knows what the crime is.
No one knows.
But it's the trial. That is the crime. What is interesting about this is it paints Trump in an incredibly appealing way. He's up against the wall. Meanwhile, Joe Biden needs a wall to stand up on. And this guy is like, he's best when he's angry and he's focused and he's direct. You know, this is like, when you compare the way he is and that kind of energy to what is in the White House now, it's persuasive. I mean, you look at this guy and you go like, I get it. That guy's pissed off and he's clear. Meanwhile, this guy speaks in these amorphous fantasies about a threat to democracy. He can't solve anything. He doesn't know what's going on. And this guy's fighting for his life. I mean, it's a pretty stark choice for Americans if they're paying attention to this. But maybe most of them, they're tuned out because they know this is all BS.
A lot of people are, but we'll see.
Click here.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at the third comment we see. I'm gonna end it off with this comment right here. I'm reading it word for word. I am a Democrat now voting for Trump. Enough. I see it in my comments all the time. A registered Democrat now voting for Trump. Enough is enough. You see it in the comment section, man. Whoa, boy. Told y'all, man. Told y'all. Complete sham. Can't nobody tell you what the crime is. What the crime is. What the crime is. Sham, sham, sham. Shammy, sham, sham. I love y'all, man. Drop a like, comment down below. And again, man, y'all spread the love, man, because we living in some dark, dark times. God bless you all and your family, man. Y'all take care.